Alrighty, so next up in our tutorial is putting in some logos. So if we go back to our folder here where we've got all the images we need for this design, you'll notice that there are a lot of TV logos. We've got 9 now, Channel 9, we've got Foxtel, and we've got KO. So you need to select those 4 images now by holding Control on your keyboard and just clicking on them one by one until the 4 images are selected. And I want you to drag them over to Photoshop and drop them in. Okay, now when you drop the first one in, you need to press the tick at the top. And the second one comes in, press the tick at the top. Same for the third, same for the fourth. And you've got 4 images now on top of one another. Using your Move tool, that's the top of the toolbox there, just move those 4 images around until you can see them all. So you can see there the 4 different TV logos. I'm going to move this Broncos logo out of the way again, just down the bottom left for a moment. And what I want to do is get these 4 images to a nice small size to sit in the top right corner of the page. So before I resize, I'm just going to grab a ruler from the top of the page and drag it onto my canvas. If you can't see these rulers up here, press Control R on your keyboard. Control R will show and hide your rulers. So you want to be able to see the rulers, and all you do is pick one up, drag it down, and you can drop it onto the page to help you align your elements nice and neatly. I might put one on the right hand side too to try and make some little margins on the page. Now I'm going to start with a 9 Now logo and put it in the corner there of that little margin there, and I'm going to resize it simply by dragging it all the way down to a very small size like so. It doesn't need to be big. I'm going to grab the Foxtel logo next, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to put it maybe about there, and we'll drag that down until it's a similar size to the 9 Now logo. Okay, if you want to zoom in a bit, you can probably just nudge them around until they're perfectly on that margin. That looks pretty good. All right, now we'll get Channel 9. Actually, I've probably done these the wrong way around. I might shuffle them around in a second once I get them to the right size. It's probably about right there. So what I'm going to do is move 9 Now and Foxtel. If I can select them both, I'm just going to move them across a bit and move Channel 9 into there. Yeah, that looks a bit better. And I'll get KO and just put it underneath the Channel 9 there. So we'll give that a bit of a resize. Move it around until you're happy with it. It's still a bit too big. Something like that looks good. So move it up into position so it's pretty much level with Foxtel and coming right in nice and neatly under Channel 9's logo. Something along those lines I think will look good. Maybe a tiny bit smaller. Press the tick when you're done. Alright, so we've got the 4 logos looking pretty good in the top right hand corner. They only need to be small, they don't need to stand out, but they are our TV affiliates. Next up, we will put in the star logo. Okay, now the star logo is going to go in the center of the document. So I'm just going to make that a lot smaller. And zooming in, I'll press the tick, pick that up, oops, move that up to the top here. Now you should see some pink guides show you when you're right in the center, like so. Press the tick again, and that doesn't look too bad. Now we do need to write in some text underneath that. If you have a look here, it'll say Match Day. So using your Type tool, sorry, let me just get back to Photoshop here. Where's the Type tool? There it is, a lot of T down there. Grab the Type tool and just write capital letters, Match Day. Now I'm going to highlight that, and I'm going to change the color to white, and I'm going to change the font to something simple. I will probably go with Candara. I don't know if you'll have Candara installed on your computer. If you don't, just choose a simple font like Arial or something. That will look good. I might drop that to about size 25, I reckon. And just put it underneath the star logo, like so. So it says the Star Match Day. Okay, now I'm going to pick up this ruler that's running vertically across my page and move it over to the other side in a similar position. We're going to put in some logos over here now, and it's going to be a logo of the 2 teams that are playing in the game today. So it's going to be the Broncos logo and the Dolphins logo. So hold Control to select both of them, drag them into Photoshop and drop them on the page. Same as before, you'll have to press the tick at the top just to apply the changes as they come in. And one by one, just give them a bit of a resize. So I'm going to have to zoom out a bit here to get this dolphin sorted. Now there should be a similar kind of height to these other logos we've got here. So let's bring it down. Oops. Yeah, that's pretty similar. I might actually bring a second ruler down just to compare the heights. Now you can see that they're all a very similar height. So this is following the alignment design principle, making sure things are aligned with one another. So all these elements are lined up in a nice neat row. Let's get the Broncos logo doing something similar. Doesn't have to be millimeter perfect, but pretty close is what we're after. So I think that looks pretty good. Now I'm going to put a line through the middle here. I'm just using my shape tool, but I'm going to go down to the line tool here. I can see the fill color is yellow, which is good. That's the color I want. It's that yellow from the Broncos logo. Just hold shift when you draw it from ruler to ruler. And that will put a little line between those two logos. And I'll get them the same width apart from the line like so. I think that looks pretty good. So I'm going to get those rulers and just drag them up off the page, and this one will go left off the page. And there's the top of our social media posts, looking pretty good. There is one more logo I want to put in at the bottom, which is the BCF logo. Okay, so if you look at the example one, you can see it says presented by, and then we've got BCF just in the middle of the page. So grab your BCF logo, drag it into Photoshop, drop it down the bottom, and you'll have to hold Alt and give it a bit of a resize till it's nice and small. That could be a little bit too small. I might make it a little bit bigger. Now that's going behind the light leak. So I'm going to need to move the light leak below that logo because I do want my sponsor to stand out. Something like that will look pretty good, I think. And remember, it has some text that says presented by. So I'm going to actually click on this match day text and hold Alt and drag down. That just makes a duplicate of it. And I'm going to double click inside that text and say capital letters presented by. And just zooming back a bit there now, it's probably a little bit, actually it's probably not too big, it's not too bad. I might go a little bit smaller, maybe size 20. I won't go any smaller than that, and I'll just make that BCF logo a tiny bit bigger. And I think they look, whoops, I think they look pretty good where they are. So I think that's all our logos in now. So we've got our two teams at the top. We've got the sponsor. We've got our television partners and another sponsor down the bottom. We're looking good. I am going to stop the video here. That's part 2 all done. In the next one, we are going to get our players into the image. Okay, so I'll catch you in the next video.